channel, we are going to do an episode of Daily Squeeze today because there happens to be so much stuff popping up in the headlines that we definitely have to discuss. A lot of things that you guys came to me asking, for me to give my little 2 cents on. So that's what we're going to do today, okay? And hopefully a little bit later, your girl will have a new fresh updo. I'll be fried, dyed, and laid to the side because it is wash day. You know how serious that has got to be. So your girl just put a headband on right now. Until we get that nice little wash, get the scalp scrubbed and everything. But in the meantime, there's so much, like I said, to talk about, and we are going to get into it. So if you're new to my channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I appreciate all of you guys for constantly tuning in and, dropping the tea down in my comments and asking me to come and talk to you guys about it. So we're going to kind of start with a little mellow news, and then we'll end, with all the yang towards the end, all right? So first and foremost, we have to give, rest and honors to DMX. DMX has, officially passed away. When we first got the news that he was, I guess, in a coma or in a vegetative state, from everybody's understanding, he overdosed and then had a heart attack. But I'm now hearing news that he actually recently got the COVID vaccine, and the COVID vaccine is possibly what caused him to have the heart attack. So both of those things are out. I do not know which is which. So you guys definitely take a look into that yourself. From my understanding, I do think it might possibly be more of the COVID testing because, a lot of people are going out there saying, oh, he had passed away and all this stuff. Like, people had already jumped the gun and were saying stuff. Claudia Jordan, her, Lunel, a lot of people were just kind of saying, he had passed away. And his manager actually had to come out and say, like, look, y'all, wait a minute. Like, his family's going to give their 2 cents, their piece. They will give everybody a statement, just wait and hold on. But because he was in that vegetative state for so long, we all have seen enough medical shows. Hell, don't watch Grey's Anatomy enough to know, like, once you're brain dead, there's kind of nothing you can do about it. And it's super unfortunate because DMX really is, like, he really is a lot of, represents a lot of people on the streets. I watched the Rough Riders Chronicles. It was super good. And you really just got to see how much I like to call like a troubled soul. Like when somebody's a troubled soul, it's like their mission in life is to figure out how to get that inner peace, spiritually. But they just have so much from their past that holds them back. That brings them back to the dark side. And that's, what DMX struggled with, his addiction and all type of things. But at the end of the day, he was a great musical genius. I personally love music. Music is like therapy to me. So listen to DMX, couple of his songs, definitely, is soothing. So a lot of people did hold like a visual, like a prayer session outside the hospital. I just saw this viral video in Orlando. They had a truck driving with a stereo on top playing his music. The cops was like, whoop, whoop, right behind them, like saying, cut it out. But at the end of the day, it's unfortunate that we do sometimes forget to celebrate, these big influential people, while they're here. We just kind of forget about it because we're so wrapped up in the drama of the world. And hell, we all know America is going to hell in a handbasket at the moment. So you get distracted. But with DMX passing, just keep the family in prayers. And his music is shooting up to the charts. Shoot, they said his song got #1 on iTunes, his little anthem song. So definitely a lot of love and support is being shown his way. A lot of celebrities. What's his name? I think Cameron? Either Cameron or Jadakiss or something like that. Derek Jackson had posted under DMX's page and he went in on him. I think it was Cameron. He was talking about, oh, you don't even try to use DMX post to try and get forgiveness and grace from the people after we saw how you dogged your wife out. Like, it was too much. It was a whole lot, okay? But overall, DMX's, Rough Riders career, he went 1, 2, 3, 4, like 5 times platinum on like half of his albums. I think 5 of his albums went platinum back to back to back. So musical genius, like I said, and we can only, hope that his music and his legacy continues going forward. But everybody just make sure y'all keep his family in y'all's prayers and, make sure not to take life for granted. Life is short. COVID, if that showed us anything, YOLO. You only live once. So go for it. Shoot for the stars. Shoot for the moon and you're missing the stars. I guess that's how you call it. So moving on from DMX, let's kind of talk about something that's a little confusing. So and music. Well, like, it's related to music because we're going to talk about love and hip hop, okay? And hip hop, you know, music. So I guess Yandy and Mendices is coming down to Atlanta, and a video kind of leaked of, I guess, either a birthday party or something, and Yandy Mendices was there. She got a car, and looky, here comes Cookie, who's in the background. It's Karlie Redd. And if you look a little closer, you see a tall, Jolly Green Giant statuesque man behind Karlie Redd, and he goes by the name Lamar Odom. Now, we all know Lamar Odom, you know, with Khloe Kardashian for years, had a little cocaine problem, you know, like to snort the white girl, you know. Everybody has their moments, but it's okay. Everybody, a saint was once a sinner, so we will not be judging folks over here. But who I will judge is Karlie Redd, because this makes no sense. Karlie Redd and Lamar Odom, really, bitch, that's what we're doing, Karlie Redd. How many times has Karlie Redd, first of all, Karlie Redd has made it by the skin of her teeth every season. And after watching that family reunion special, Chico. Shh. Y'all know Chico. Always gotta say hi. He's in the background. Y'all say what's up to Chico. On the family reunion special that VH1 had for Love and Hip Hop, her daughter was on there. And her daughter actually was in tears, crying about how her mom, like, wasn't around. But she's like, yeah, my mom worked, but basically, Karlie Redd, you was in these streets, and you like to say, oh, you know, you was out there working for your child, and, you know, doing everything you could to provide for her. And I do think that's very much true in some aspects. I think Karlie Redd, in the beginning, you know, definitely was out there trying to get it how you live. But at some point, when Love and Hip Hop came into play, it's very apparent that Karlie Redd, you kind of got lost in the sauce. And your daughter kind of became collateral damage, because the way she was crying on that family reunion show, like, she's been holding that pain in for a minute. And Karlie Redd was almost acting confused, which was even more annoying. Like, your daughter's crying to you and you're just acting like what? Like, what do you mean? Oh my gosh. And she's like, you know, other families, they hang out together and they say I love you and they do stuff. They, you know, have game nights. And she's like, other families don't do that. And, like, almost discrediting what her daughter is asking for from her, which is Karlie Redd. There are families who do stuff together. They have game nights. They do, you know, parties with each other, a whole bunch of stuff. And Karlie Redd just cannot provide that for her daughter because she's too busy looking for the affection of a man, and it's quite obvious. She's been engaged 3 times on Love and Hip Hop. Was Jock one of them? Or almost engaged to Jock. She was engaged to Life Jennings. He proposed to her. Benzino, I think he was going to give Karlie Redd a ring. Then we had, what's the dude? Arkansas Mo. She was actually with him. Like, every season it's a new dude. And it's, like, concerning because it's like, ma'am, you are hitting the menopause age. And, you know, we're not judging age or nothing like that, but it just kind of seems like the older you get, the more experience you would have in life to know what men to avoid and what men should actually be good for you and your family. What you are not about to do is tell me Lamar Odom is good for you and your family, Karlie Redd. That's what we're not about to do. He's a man who's still trying to figure out himself and how to figure out how to recover from near death, literally at a freaking, you know, what they call it, like them little sex bunny shops and stuff, those little concubine places. He was, you know, doped up with drugs, erection pills, and, you know, a whole bunch of stuff. So Lamar Odom has a lot to figure out. But this is where Mona, like, Mona bitch. Shout out to Forest Rocks, how she said Mona bitch. Okay, look, Mona. Come on, Mona. I'm gonna need you to listen, all right? Because you said in particular that you were upset that you get kind of like the black cloud of reality TV, you know, like, why do people, you know, not give you your credit? And this is why. This is why, right here. Karlie Redd and Lamar Odom, you know it's BS, but you're going to put it on the show because, oh, people are going to want to watch. What's Karlie Redd, you know, and Lamar Odom going to do? Like, is this a real relationship? Like, what are they going to do? Like, is he going to be like the type of dude that beats with Karlie Redd? And Karlie Redd is known for starting shit anyways, but you can't be upset that Mona, like, people look at you sideways because you do mess like this. Nowhere in this is this love and hip hop. It certainly ain't love, and it sure as hell ain't hip hop. So you have now become the producer who throws stuff out there for the mess of it all, for the drama of it all, for the, you know, the burning in hell of it all. And so you do not get to have the same type of credit and credibility of, you know, actually producing a show based on love and hip hop. In the beginning, it was like that when we had, you know, Joel Santana and Kimbella and Chrissy with Jim Jones. Like, that was real love and hip hop. Like, Chrissy and Jim Jones, you know how long them two mofos been together? Through it all. Are they still together now? That's a good question. Drop it in the comments. Y'all let me know. Is Jim Jones and Chrissy still together? I would think they would be. But that was true love and hip hop. How do we get from Jim Jones and Chrissy to Lamar Odom and Karlie Redd? Mona, think about that. And when you come up with an answer, then we can finally figure out why you're not getting the credit or, you know, the recognition that you feel like you deserve. Because at some point, like, you just flip sides. You went from actually genuinely being about the streets and telling people stories to getting ratings that are really just based off of mess. Like, Karlie Redd, Lamar Odom, ma'am. That's worse than oil and water. That's like, you bitch you. And the famous words of Snoop Dogg, like, it's not gonna work. And unfortunately, people are gonna tune in for the demise of it all. We want to tune in for the ratchetry of it all, for like, for the ghetto-ness of it all. Woo child, the ghetto. That's literally all I can think of. Woo child, the ghetto. Like, that is literally what love and hip hop has become. Who is Lamar gonna be fighting with? Like, is Lamar gonna be the type of dude to walk in the scene and, you know, pick with people? Like, Lamar Odom is not like that. So how is this gonna work, y'all? This literally is gonna bug shit out of me. So y'all drop down in the comments. How do you feel about Karlie Redd now hopping on Lamar Odom and kind of using him as her next storyline? Do you feel like it'll be about the relationship, or is she gonna kind of pull the, oh, he's just a friend, you know, type situation? Do we feel like we might actually get, you know, some fakery, you know, between them all? Are they gonna be doing the fake kissing, the fake dates, and all that type of stuff? Will they go that far? And matter of fact, Karlie, you honestly really should start thinking about bringing your daughter on the show, because you'll get a lot further with your daughter than you would with this BS. Like, how many men are you going to sit there and allow you to, like, make a fool out of you, you know, go in and out, and, you know, famous words of the song, tooted and booted, like, met her at the club, said what's up, I tooted and booted, because you keep allowing men to do that. And you know your daughter's seeing that, right? Like, just to let you know, like, your daughter's seeing that, and then you're mad that she's crying that she doesn't have your attention because she's watching you give the attention and love that's supposed to go to her to men. And then, I mean, that generational curse shit is real. Like, if you're doing it, what do you think your daughter's gonna do? And that'd be super unfortunate to see, because your daughter is very beautiful. Karlie Redd, I need to start thinking a little bit better, and, you know, maybe also consider getting a reduction, you know, behind that bike, all right, because the legs are not starting to match the booty, and you're kind of having that Kenya Moore syndrome where it's just not looking good. And, you know, I'm telling you this because I love you, Karlie Redd. It's just not looking good. You know, age is setting in, gravity is setting in, and, you know, I just want to see you do better for the streets, for the culture. I guess that's how we can put it. But Lamar Odom, don't play on my intelligence. Let me move on. So after Lamar Odom, let's go ahead and move into another, you know, reality TV fakery of it all, the mess of it all. What is going on with Real Housewives of Atlanta? Like, it literally just feels like a bomb just blew up and shit just started going wild between Portia, LaToya, to Drew, to Candy, to Marlo. Like, what the hell is going on? So now we go from LaToya, Ali, and her nigga, like, fighting, and him revealing that she's only getting paid $1,000 an episode, which is crumbs. Like, barely even crumbs, bitch, that's scraps, all right? Then you out here wilding on Bravo for crumbs, to fighting with Drew. Now all of a sudden some prophet is coming into play. Whatever the prophet is some man that she was getting spiritual guidance from. And now Drew is saying that this person that she was getting spiritual guidance from is guiding in between her legs, apparently. So that is now another whole piece of drama. Candy's now feeling some type of way about how Bravo did her dirty with that picture when it came to reunion look. And I have to agree, Candy, they definitely did you dirty. When it came to that reunion look, after you posted it like on her page, when you see it on Candy's page, it definitely gave it like it just gave it the full picture that we needed. And she said that they went for dungeon burlesque type theme. And if we want to be honest, Candy went for that. And I can appreciate that she actually, stuck within the costumage of it all. So I will give her credit for that. I just think the shorts could have been done either differently or different material or something. But she got mad at Bravo for posting that ugly ass picture. It was not cute, Candy, but we'll let you slide, girl. But we go from that to Portia and Marlo fighting over Marlo having liposuction, and Portia went off on Dish TV saying like, oh, she's a fake friend, and we should be worrying about somebody who mixes alcohol with her drugs. And it's like, wait a minute, like when did we get here? What? I got whiplash, y'all. I seriously got whiplash. So now Marlo basically clapped back and even tagged Candy in the clap back, basically telling her like, oh, first at Candy, was trying to drug you. Now I'm on drugs. Like, for real, Portia, this is such a reach. But you know what? I forgive you. I can't even, I love and forgive you. It's sorry that you would do something, that you're going this far. But did Marlo have lipo? I believe so. Or she wouldn't have wore that goddamn dress to the reunion showing all her abductors and sides and long ass legs. I absolutely do believe that Marlo had liposuction. But I think the point that Portia was making with telling Marlo is, don't call me a liar and come for me for being a liar if bitch you're doing the same thing. Like, somebody being a hypocrite of all things is something that gets under my skin. Do not play on my intelligence and do not be no hypocrite, because I just can't do it. I cannot do it with hypocrites. And Marlo going after Portia, calling her a liar, and then kind of doing some stuff and then lying on herself, like, I would kind of feel some type of way too. But Marlo kind of checked her when it came to Bolo. She said, I'm sorry that you got drunk off cheap Henny and decided to bust it wide open for a stripper and fake Chanel. I said, and wait a minute. Bolo and fake Chanel. I mean, we knew his costume. I mean, you can go get Chanel fabric, can't you? I think that's what you can do. Yeah, it's Chanel fabric, okay? But the fact that Marlo did flip, y'all, we can't sit there and lie and say that Marlo did not flip on Portia. She hella did. She was so messy at that table and then had the nerve to try and bring in Big Frida into it. Like, she was being so messy. And I really feel like Marlo flipped because she's trying to get her peach. After that episode aired, Marlo was doing an interview and talking about how, we should give the people what they want. They've been asking for a peach from me for a long time. Like, why would we not give the people that? You see what I do on the show. So I do think production probably looked at Marlo, was like, look, this would be a good time to show. Like, are you going to be a permanent cast member? Oh, she goes to the table, starts the shit up with Portia, and then after it airs, talks about, oh, should I get a peach, you guys? Like, Marlo is only in it for herself. If there's anybody you can't trust, bitch, it's Marlo. But also, you can't trust none of these. I wouldn't trust Kenya, Marlo, and Portia. You kind of proved that you can't be trusted too, bitch. So I don't know. Like, it ain't looking too good for you, Portia. Yeah, because you tried to say that Candy drug was getting ready to, like, drug and rape you in her dungeon. Like, you can't really let that shit slide, Portia. But y'all drop in the comments, let me know. First of all, do you believe Marlo had liposuction? Secondly, who really is in the wrong here, or really is taking more of the fault of why Portia and Marlo are slipping? Is it more on Portia's side or is it more on Marlo's side? Now, speaking of Real Housewives of Atlanta, now the debate is, who should come back? And now they're trying to bring back Sheree. Sheree, we all know, had her little call on Tyrone. type nigga that was in jail. I think his name is Tyrone, right? His name is Tyrone. He was locked up for, you know, that white collar crime, that fraudulency, the wiring, and all the, you know, the mail fraud and all type of shit. So he was wiring money, doing the same stuff that Apollo was doing. So when he gets out, Sheree, you might want to make sure you check your taxes, because the IRS for sure is going to be on that ass. And you already got like a $20,000 square foot house. So might want to check that, boo. IRS going to check you, boo, for real. But Sheree Whitfield coming back to Real Housewives of Atlanta, you guys. Drop down in the comments. Tell me, how do you feel about that? I personally, although I would enjoy seeing where Sheree is at in this relationship with her nigga, like I want to see where that could go. With where is he gonna work? How is he gonna get a job? How is he gonna keep up with Sheree Whitfield's life? How can he support a woman who lives this Chateau Sheree, She by Sheree grand lifestyle? How is all of that going to happen? I wouldn't mind seeing that, but does she need to be a full-time housewife? No, I really feel like we do just need new energy. Like, we ran the course of all these women. Candy, Riley has graduated. Portia can stay as a friend. Drew can stay. Nah, Drew can go, because I didn't like how she did LaToya in that bar. Talking about, well, why you not drinking? And bitch, you knew why she wasn't drinking. I didn't like that. Kenya can go. She has no other storyline with Mark. We all know Mark ain't shit. He tried to go for her alimony. He doesn't take care of his child. We already went through all of that storyline with Kenya. Who else? Fallon, she didn't really show up this season. Everybody's talking about bringing her, but nonetheless, nobody is like really. Cynthia with Mike Hill, she done got married and everything. That's why she rushed to get married to Mike this season, because she knew next season wasn't gonna be her time. Like this, it was like now or never. And so I really feel like that's why Cynthia rushed to, marry Mike, because this would be her good send off, like her farewell. Like, I got married, I found the love of my life, and chunk the deuces, I'm out. So we just need all new crew, and keep maybe Portia as a friend, and you can kind of maybe bring Sheree on just as a peekaboo type person. But I don't know how I feel about that. Y'all drop in the comments and let me know. Should Marlo get a peach, and should Sheree come back? And has anybody finally bought those She by Sheree joggers that's supposed to come out in spring, January, February, March, September? She did not know what she said. She's talking about, they're gonna come out in spring, and she's like, maybe September. Bitch, spring is not in September. Anyways, so let's go ahead and move on to Sean Diddy Combs is kind of getting a little attacked, y'all. Mr. Diddy Combs, recently kind of put out a little monologue about how, white companies are devaluing black people, black media. We're not getting our paid dues, which is all very much true. Black people very much are not getting our dues. We are the culture. We are the backbone of this country. But Diddy, you kind of are forgetting your part in screwing over a lot of people in the process of you growing this bad boy entertainment. He posted about how, he wants these big companies like GM and all these other places, to recognize how, black people spend trillions of dollars. Latin America spends trillions of dollars. All of these minorities spend so much money and are the creators of content. But where is our pay? Like, JG Wentworth, is my money and I need it now. Call 1-800-JG Wentworth. Bitch, is my money and I need it now type stuff. But Jesse Wu came forward and was like, well, it kind of has to start with you, Diddy. You can't be trying to call out white people and you're doing the same thing to your folks. Like, she was supposed to host a revolt thing for P.Diddy, and he basically was trying to tell her to do it on the free ski. Like, for no money. So how are you trying to get white people to do something that you won't even do for your own kind, Diddy? And many artists have come forward and talked about how Diddy basically has gave them scraps, like on the dollar. It has not really paid Mace. We all know that famous story with Mace. A lot of his bands and groups, like, what happened to them? Where are they at right now in life? Here's a man who, like, literally is, known to be one of the best producers out there, one of the best in the entertainment game as far as music goes. But if we look at his record as far as it comes to artists, P.Diddy strikes out. Like, let's keep it real. He strikes out. Now, Dr. Dre, we all know he ain't shit. He's a woman beater. He put his hands on Michelle A. He's a billionaire. He has all of these things, you know, that are against him. But one thing we can't say that Dre has is the music resume and actually artists that continue to work right now. P. Diddy does not. Like, who is on Bad Boy Entertainment as of right now? Somebody let me know, drop down in the comments. That is actually out there having a flourishing career. And I think Diddy just did not prepare for the backlash that he was going to get, because it all sounded good when he said it. Oh, you know, power to the people, for my people, pay us right now type stuff. And you can't do that when you're doing the same exact thing. How dare you hold white people to a standard that you won't even hold to yourself, like for your own kind. So now we look at Diddy like, okay, you won't pay your people who are artists. You won't pay people who are under you. You're cutting like pennies on the dollars for people who you signed. Excuse me, pot calling the kettle black so much, Mr. P. Diddy, Sean Combs, brotherly love, whatever the freak your name is, you know, this month. It's a little disappointing. You know, you want to call yourself the, you know, the committee, like the white committee, but you are the committee. A lot of black men who become successful, it's like a badge of honor to be sitting at the table, to be, I'm going to be the residential house nigga of it all. And I think Diddy low-key does want that type of I made it recognition, even though he is successful, you know, to get at the top. I just don't know what he's trying to achieve, because in that letter, it was very like, you know, one of those things where the big print giveth, but the small print taketh type shit. And up front, what he's saying looks good. It sounds good. It's what the people have been wanting, you know, big corporations to say. But if you really break it down, P. Diddy didn't say anything that made sense of how he plans on changing it, of how he wants to do better. Like you said, if you want them to change, like, you got to start with it yourself. And that's kind of how it works. So y'all drop down in the comments, P. Diddy, do you guys believe that he will actually put the effort forth, you know, in helping black people, changing the community? I'm sure he has done his part, you know, with, you know, sending, I think he has like a school where he pays for like the whole school and stuff like that. And I think there is a lot that P. Diddy has done, you know, for certain parts of the community. But is he doing all he can? Absolutely not. Abso-freaking-lutely not. And what people need to understand is the only way you become a millionaire, billionaire, whatever it is, trillionaire, the only way you become all of those naires is by somebody getting shorted. Somebody along the line gets cut short. And 9 times out of 10, the people who get cut short are the middle class working people. And we saw that with Amazon. We saw how Amazon and Uber and all these places, I think Amazon, there was a whole lawsuit about how people who were delivering weren't even getting their tips for like 14, 15 years. They weren't even getting their tips. So when you see shit like that happening, it just goes to show like capitalism is like literally the downfall of this country. The rich want to stay rich and they keep the poor people poor, and the poor people are the one who spend the money to make these assholes rich. Like, it's an unfortunate cycle. But overall, I do think P. Diddy just kind of got caught with his pants down. Like, even though he had these somewhat intentions up front, do I think, you know, people actually believe him when it comes to his purpose of trying to make sure, you know, black people get their recognition and the money and stuff like that? I just don't think so. I honestly just think he has a far ways to go. Like, prove us wrong. That's all we can say, Diddy, is prove us wrong. Work for the black people, you know, do stuff for niggas out here. Like, that's all we can say. And don't be trying to come after white folks if you're not doing the same thing. Period. That's on all right? So one last thing I did want to talk about. What I know it was something else I wanted to talk about. We talked about DMX, P. Diddy, Real Housewives of Atlanta, Marlo. It was something else I wanted to. Oh, last but not least, you guys, let's talk about Martell Holt. Martell Holt did a strawberry letter with Steve Harvey. And I said, oh, I gotta see this. I got to see this. Martell Holt, Steve Harvey. Oh, I'm tuning in. So to see Martell Holt, first and foremost, if you do not stop wearing these medium tops, Mr. Martell Holt, we get it. We understand you go to the gym. We understand you work out probably 3, 4, 5, 6 times a day. Probably drinking all types of green smoothies. We understand that you are Popeyes and Jolly the Green Giant. But all that working out, going to the gym is also what led you to cheat on your wife and family. Because at the gym really meant I'm across town with some bitch. Like, so every time we see these muscles and we see these tight ass shirts on you, all we can think about is Miss Ariana Paprika. I'm not going to call her by her real name because I saw that leaked footage, audio of that girl, and she is the worst of worst kind. The disrespectful kind, the blame the wife kind. She is one of those. Like, if you at least gonna get you a side woman, make sure she's one that knows her place, that she is Taco Bell, that she is McDonald's, that she is, you know, not even Popeyes. Shoot, she is goddamn KFC. She needs to understand she is all of those things, and she's supposed to be quiet and have her place on Monday, Wednesday, Friday. But unfortunately, you know, Martell did empower this woman to a point where she was calling Melody, asking for Melody when you're calling Martell's phone. You know, she's clearly been around the kids. She's blaming Melody, saying like, how dare she talk about me? Why she got my name in her mouth? And it's like, you bitch, you, like, you're having sex with my husband. You're lucky I have not gone to jail for murder. Shout out to Bonnie Blue, stab, stab, stab. All of these things. But back to Martell, he decided he was going to enlist Steve Harvey's help. Now, we know, of all people, first of all, whoever his PR person is, I get it. Like, whoever his PR person is definitely came to him and was like, look, Martell, these interviews that you have been doing are not working. First of all, they've been with women. And women, regardless of what you say, are not going to be on your side, except for the straggling few who really have the thought of, well, if she's doing what she's doing, her husband won't leave. Besides those few little, you know, miscellaneous people, you doing interviews with women and then blaming Melody for why you stepped out. Sorry, my nigga, it's not gonna work. So his PR person definitely came to him and said, look, what's a man that has some type of publicity, that has been through what you've been through, and it's came out on the other side successful? Ding, 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 ding. Steve Harvey, Strawberry Letter. Oh my God, let's get it set up. So this is my thought process, y'all. This is my thought process of how Martell ended up on the show. So he ends up on Steve Harvey. Y'all, Steve Harvey has no idea about this nigga storyline though. So what's the lady's name? Is her name Cheryl Strawberry or something like that? She's explaining it to Steve Harvey as he's asking questions. And he's like, yeah, Steve, he cheated. He's like, oh, you know, okay, you know, when did she find out? He's like, 5 years ago. He's like, oh, and she took you back? He was like, yeah. He's like, oh, okay. And she's like, yeah, Steve, he got a baby. And Steve was like, what? She's like, Steve, he got a baby with this other woman. He was like, okay. So during the breaks, the commercial breaks of the Strawberry Letter, I guess everybody the station was filling Steve Harvey in on the BS. So Steve Harvey did come back and he really did say, you know what, Martell, this is a story that all of us men know. This is a story that no matter however which way you put it, many men have gone through. And he told Martell straight up, it's simply put, because he's like, what is your question? And Martell's question was, how do I go about moving on? You know, not even moving on, but in a sense of dating as well. When he threw in that dating shit, it's like, Steve Harvey's like, bro, you already are dating. You literally already are moved in with another bitch in another house. So quit it with the dating. Like, first, I'm not even gonna go into that. But he's told him right, like, you are now going to have to sit in this puddle of mess that you created, which is you blew a whole family. That's what Martell has to sit in. And no man wants to sit in that. As much as they try to, feed their ego of, oh, this other woman, like as Martell said, it was satisfying me. That's all he kept telling Melody. She's satisfying me. Cool. cool. But after all of that ends, then what? Because he definitely fell for that 80-20 rule. For sure, for sure. And the 20% looks good when you don't have it, because truth be told, you're not at all 10 things that you ask for a person. You're only going to get 7 or 8 of those things. So yeah, it looks good when you don't have it. But when you get over there and that's all you have, you threw away everything else. And a lot of men fall for that. And so here it is, Martell fell victim, you know, to the slob on the knob and, you know, the dome in the brain and the education of all those things. And, you know, her doing obviously some things that Melody don't want to do in the bedroom, but you fell for all of that. But then now, like Steve Harvey said, what do I tell the kids though? Like, first of all, now not only do you have to explain to your kids what you did, but now you have to explain to your kids that they have a whole nother sibling. They have a whole nother sibling, Martell. How do you tell your kids that, oh, even though mommy just gave birth to this baby that is your little sister, you have another little brother that didn't come from your mama's belly? Like, do you know how that's gonna affect them when they get older, Martell? Like, you honestly fucked up. Like, you really did. Okay? And in the biggest magnitude of not only doing that, but then in the process of trying to bring down Melody too. You were trying to make Melody look just as bad as you, which is why you got all this heat. Wasn't nobody gonna fall for that mess? Like, you could say that Melody was cheating all day till you were blue in the face, and nobody, first of all, is going to believe it because you are a narcissistic, egotistical man. If she really was doing the shit that you were saying, Martell, you would have been gone. Because you feel like you're the prize. Because you look good, you smell good, you work out, and you got a job and you provide, and you're the dominant parent. That's what you keep saying. You are all of those things in your mind. So, oh, how dare she cheat on me? I'm out. That definitely would have been you. But, you know, Steve told him right, which is, you have to understand you embarrassed her publicly, so you need to apologize publicly. So he does it. He does his little apology, telling Melody, oh, we've been together 14 years. I grew up you. We got amazing kids together. I understand I messed up. You know, I'm super sorry for that. And, you know, I'm hurting. I know you're hurting, you know, just as much. But I just hope that going forward, we can co-parent. And, you know, I just want to let you know that I'm really sorry for the things that I did that were so stupid. I'm not gonna lie, his apology was real C- because he was focusing too much on the coupleness of it all when it came to him and Melody. He wasn't apologizing enough for what he actually was doing. Like, he wasn't apologizing for, oh, I apologize for the lying. I apologize for the cheating. I apologize for the taking money out of our household and go spending it with, take some other bitch on vacation. I apologize for, you know, those type of things. But at this point, your apology is way too late, Martell. It honestly is, because you have had so many opportunities, bruh. So many opportunities, but too many opportunities is the thing. You were giving way too many times to get it right, and you still couldn't. And he killed me when he threw in the, oh, you know, the blessings, you know, that we lost because of me. You know, we always said that God would bless us with favors, and every time I messed up, you know, we would lose those favors. And if you notice that, Martell, you still ended up doing it. Do you see how crazy that is? You realize that you were losing favors that God clearly was blessing you with, and you still was out there going around sticking your peen in other women. And then not only that, rumor has it that you were burning women at that, like protection. We learned this in goddamn high school. We learned that, you know, STDs and stuff can be prevented by these things called condoms, rubbers, you know, the latex hat, if you want to put it. So not only are you impregnating women, but you're burning them too. Like, bro, you are a dog. And unfortunately, it's so sad to see that he has 3 daughters. Martell has 3 daughters, y'all. And now what is he supposed to tell them when they get older and they encounter the man like him? Because it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. What can he tell his daughters? Oh, exactly. He can't tell his daughters exactly what he was telling Melody, which was, you weren't doing your part. No man would ever dare tell his daughter, well, what were you doing to make him go out there and cheat on you? the blasphemy of it all. So this apology, y'all drop in the comments, tell me, do y'all believe Martell's apology? Do you guys feel like it's a little too late? Do you feel like, you know, somebody like Martell would ever be able to be faithful? Now, he was in that house. Here's the question. Did he move in with Ariana Curry? I heard rumor that he moved in with her. Ariana, bitch, you look sad. Like, here's a man who called you a peasant on national TV. And then he keeps trying to get back with his wife. He keeps telling her, I'm in love with you, I love you. He called his wife a hoe, though. If he called his wife a hoe, he called his wife a hoe. His wife of 14 years a hoe. What do you think he thinks about you? I just couldn't imagine. I could not imagine sleeping with somebody knowing they called me a peasant on national TV and then getting impregnated by them. I would never. Ooh, Lord Jesus, fix it. I'm just gonna say a prayer for her, because he's clearly feeding her with a whole bunch of fairy tales, lies, fairy tales, and fallacies, you know, which I always heard constantly growing up from my dad talking about, don't let no nigga tell you sweet nothings, which is, it sounds good, but where's the action behind it? All the sweet nothings. I low-key grew up with a boy mentality because I hung around boys a lot. So when you are a tomboy, you hang around boys, you start realizing like, oh, bro, these niggas is not nothing. And then you start realizing, nope, not for you, buddy. And I feel like a lot more females should just start thinking like, you know, act like a lady, think like a man. That literally is so true. Martell, you tried to do this apology way too late. I'm sure to try and save your ass so you can try to make some more money. You know, his money's going to be dried up real fast. Nobody's going to want to work with him because people now know you're a liar manipulator. And he actually said he wants Melody to go on and flourish. And I hope her career does well. And it will. And it will, Martell. Because if there's anything that's happening, a woman will become successful in spite of and do it well. And Melody has a song that's on the charts. She's, you know, opening schools and courses and all types of shit. Like, Melody is going to flourish. And you're always going to have to watch that. And you're going to have to watch her take care of the kids financially by herself, which you thought was so big of you. Oh, I take care of the kids. I'm a dominant parent. Oh, I provide. But now what happens when you can see that Melody is providing for her kids all by herself without your help? Like, I can do bad all by myself is for real, for real. Like, women work, cook, clean, do homework with their kids, laundry. They are expected to be sexy, like, on the regular for their husband. And then what are you here for? If I can do all those things, what the hell are you here for? Now Melody is realizing, like, I don't need you. And Martell, you thought she needed you. And you felt like you built her up to be this person. But honestly, she was building you up. And you saw her flourishing and you felt bad, which is why you had to go and find you somebody who's nowhere near the caliber of Melody. And she pumped your ego up. That's all it was. You found a woman who was not as successful, who was not as, you know, ambitious and go-getter and had all these opportunities. And that made you feel good. And so it wasn't just the satisfaction of, you know, your peen getting slobbed on. It was also the satisfaction of that narcissism and that ego that you so badly have. But I could rip Martell a new one all day. And the famous words of Snoop Dogg, like I said, you bitch you. But Martell's apology, honestly, he could kick rocks with open-toe shoes and F you and the horse that you rode in on. I just hope that his kids, you know, when they get older, I think he does not understand that resentment is going to be hard. There's nothing you can do about it. You're going to have to apologize gratefully, and you're going to have to spend a lot of time making up for it. And that's just through pure experience and learning through myself. Like, Martell, you are going to have to beg and plead for your kids' forgiveness. And when they don't forgive you, because it's not going to come easy, don't you dare blame it on Melody, because it's not Melody's fault. And he want to say, oh, the cheating only ended up on the show because Melody brought it up on there. I wasn't going to put it on there. Nigga, you was cheating on your wife when a reality TV show was filming. So that's your life, your actual reality. So if you're cheating in real life, nigga, did you not think we wasn't going to catch you cheating on TV if the cameras are following you? Like, that's that narcissism coming through. But like I said, I could rip that nigga a new one all day, but I'm not going to, because this video done got a little bit too long. But all the things that we discussed today, it was a whole lot of, shout out to goddamn Zoe. But drop down in the comments, tell me how you feel about everything we discussed today. And if there's anything else that you guys want me to talk about, y'all make sure to drop down in the comments and let me know. Hit me up on my Instagram. You can DM me there, or just drop down in the comments, like I said, and tell me if there's any other stuff that pops up that you want me to give my little 2 cents on. But Martell Holt, yeah, he can straight up go to hell, if you ask me. Him and them 2 tight shirts, medium. And Ariana can go ahead and follow him. Go on with him, because you seem to clearly know how to just follow him everywhere. Disappointment. Just disappointment. Just ugh. I need to go. I'm hungry. But I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Y'all know what to do. Like, subscribe, tag, all that good stuff. And I will see you guys in the next video. Deuces.